Europe has been seeing a lot of problems in terms of this staged migrant invasion, backed by the money of George Soros, no doubt. We've been exposing this step by step along the way, but even though we're exposing it, it's not stopping what's happening in some of these countries. We've talked about the Czech Republic gearing up, Germany telling people to stockpile and to get ready for a big event within Germany's borders. We have seen France here recently say that there's going to be a crackdown, this civil war type of atmosphere because of this staged invasion. These migrants that are coming in that cannot assimilate, cannot fit into society, and they are sucking the welfare programs dry. They are coming in, many of them, equipped with everything they need to get by and to survive till they get into Sweden. So the expenses of them getting there, their food, their travel, and all that, that's covered. We've also seen all of the passports that have been ditched at the border of many different countries that were made specifically for these individuals. Now, when this all first started, mainstream media was trying to blast women and children, refugees, on TV for everyone. Even the Pope coming out stating that people should take these refugees into their home. He even went as far here recently to state that people that are fear-mongering against the migrants, that is terrorism. Using terrorism with their tongue. Can you believe that? This is what Jesuit Pope Francis has stated, that anyone not going along with their deceptive plan here with this migrant invasion, that you're the terrorist, came out of his own mouth. That man cares not about the atrocities that's taken place in each and every one of these countries. This was their goal. And what's happening in Sweden is they're cracking down big time, and you can add Sweden now to the list as they're stating that they have a major crisis. These no-go zones, where the law is virtually not upheld, has risen now to 55 in Sweden alone. 55 different areas where the police do not want to go into, where they get pummeled with rocks, where their cars get lit ablaze. 70 cars torched in just a couple days here. One person arrested. They're saying that 2 out of 3 officers wanting to quit or relocate. Crime rates skyrocketing. And this is all part of their order out of chaos. And they've done just that, guys. Look at all these countries in Europe that have been turned upside down from a decade ago. All through this staged invasion. Now they're going to say, oh, they're running from these countries where ISIL or ISIS is invaded and taken over. Well, don't you know who created them? You should by now. Because then you'll see the bigger picture. They're playing both sides. And people are going to start to get extremely pissed when their eyes open and these headlines no longer read what the mainstream media is wanting you to see them as. And you actually see them, instead of saying, oh, ISIL just attacked American troops here, it's going to say, no, the Western-backed alphabet gangs just attacked American troops. That's how it should really read. Once people start seeing it like that, the curtain falls. Then ISIS no longer works globally. It starts to fall apart, which I think it already is. Doesn't mean they're going to stop waging war or doing these things in other countries. As long as those people are not hip to it, even if they are, they're going to push this as far as they can. And as you've seen, Obama trying to bring thousands of them over here into this country through companies like G4S that the Orlando shooter had worked for. And they're just hauling them all across the country at this point and dumping them. Many of them not even having to show up for court. And some 800 of them just last week mistakenly granted citizenship here in this country, United States. So if you don't think that this isn't organized and that this is just people fleeing for their lives, you're crazy. We've shown time and time again that this is staged, that this invasion is being pushed upon the people. Europe, you are literally being invaded by an army. And because they're not in camo fatigues, none of these countries are saying anything. But don't get it twisted. Your governments knew damn well what was happening here. These governments knew. Merkel knew. All of them knew. before this whole thing even began, when they were calling for the migrants to come into their country, they knew what was going to happen. So they can then, like in France, lock down the whole place, crack down on what they say is going to be the migrants, but in reality, it's a crackdown on all the people. Stripping your privacy, your freedoms, all of this, like they always do. So people know you can add Sweden to the list. I was talking about this the other night on Underground World News Live, but we were live streaming the Charlotte event, and people just keep asking questions about this. So I wanted to get it out there so people understand what's happening in Sweden. And for anyone out there that's in these countries that's wondering, what do we do? Have a plan. I say it all the time. Have a plan. And this comes down to your people. This should show you that running off into the hills and hiding and thinking you're going to survive one by one on your own isn't going to cut it. You need your people. You need your people in numbers, and you need to make moves with your people, and you need to come together strongly, especially when they're sending people and troops into areas specifically to divide and conquer. But I will continue to update on this as I get more information. This isn't going to go away overnight, especially when you've got billionaires like George Soros funding the chaos, just like they're doing here in the United States with BLM and all these staged protests. And from here on out, I will be live streaming Dabu 777 on my backup channel, so make sure you're subscribed over there. We have the debate coming up tomorrow. We're going to be streaming. I will leave links for all this stuff in the description box. And also make sure to check out our recent sponsor here, the Essential Drug Store. Specifically, chose these guys because it presents an opportunity here for people to be able to stock up on medical supplies legitimately for those of you that need it. It's been Dabu 7, y'all. Eyes open.